Hey guys, welcome to SSC. First of all, excuse all of this mess. We weren't really sure who was going to go after Robin this week. By we, I mean me and Neil. And he was originally going to go, but then he's like, I can't do it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Um, it's just like I was gonna go to bed, but now here I am. Um, so this is Robin's topic this week, which is awesome because he hasn't been around for a while. So thanks, Robin. I'm actually really excited and interested about this topic. So let's get right into it. So you were asking about the state of movies and TV today, and I totally agree with you that there's just a lot of junk. There's definitely, we're all seeing all these sequels that are coming out, sequels and reboots in movies and TV. Just they're trying to recycle old ideas for whatever reason. I kind of thought for a while, when I started seeing this around, I thought, well, maybe the reason all this is happening is because studios are scared, right? Because they want to bank on something that they know will make money, and they're scared. Why? Well, because maybe it's because it's tough financial times, economic times right now. I don't know, but I mean, we all see it, and it's pretty obvious that they don't want to take a chance, which is a shame. I saw some chart a couple months ago or something. It was like the blockbuster films of like 1982 or something versus the blockbuster films of 2010 or 2011, and like they had them color coded based on what was a sequel and what was the original idea, whatever. And I would say 90% of the ones from the 80s were original ideas, and about 10% of the ones from now were original ideas. And, I'm sure there's a lot of factors that go into that, but it's just for those of us who appreciate a good film, a well constructed original film, it's just a shame that that's kind of the state of things right now. Um, there's a lot of, I mean, that's movies. You brought up Star Wars, which personally I'm very excited actually that the Star Wars might be getting some sequels. I've been waiting for episodes 7, 8, and 9 for years and years since I first saw Star Wars, since I first finished Return of the Jedi for the first time when I was in second grade. I've been wanting to know what happened next. Um, I don't know if I was more interested in that than what became the prequels, but I'm definitely interested in what they're going to do with this. I think it's a good thing. Um, so as far as sequels go, like I can understand fans getting excited about sequels because it's something they know. That's exactly what's happening with me and Star Wars. Um, but I think personally for me, there's not a lot of franchises that they could successfully do that with for me. Another, I guess, I mean, this isn't exactly the same, but The Hobbit's coming out, which is part of the whole Lord of the Rings franchise, and I'm really excited to see that too. I know they're gonna change the story and they're gonna rearrange a lot of different things and stuff, but I'm still gonna go see it. Side note, you had mentioned Cloud Atlas. I did get to see it. It is a fantastic original idea movie. I really, really enjoyed it. I would recommend everyone who's watching this go give it a chance. If it's still in the theaters when you're watching this, go in the theater. If it's on video, get it on video in some format and watch it. Cloud Atlas is really great. Um, and that's based on a book. There's a lot of movies that are based on books, and I mean I think that's been part of movie making for a long time, which is cool. Um, I think there's actually probably a ton of really good books out there they could be basing movies on. Um, but again, I think they're probably just seeing what's doing really well, and then waiting to make something after that because they don't want to take a chance on something that they can't guarantee is going to do well. Um, as far as where nowadays, since we're kind of looking for more creative content, the question is, where do we look? I think pretty obviously the answer is online. That's where we're going to more quickly find original good stuff that um, that has a more direct, not only is more free to be more creative, but also has a closer link to us as viewers, and we have potential to have more input in it. Um, this is kind of not exactly related, but the whole one of the things that came to mind when I was thinking about this was how the Arrested Development is coming back. Um, and fans had wanted that. Fans had pushed for that. Another thing that kind of reminds me of is when fans pushed for Serenity, and then they got the movie as a continuation of Firefly. And so I don't know if it's. I mean, it's not. I'm sure completely due to fans pushing for it, but nevertheless, we're getting a new Arrested Development season, and I am very excited about that. But as most of you, if not all of you, know, it's on Netflix. It's not going to be on any major network or anything, and I think that's really cool. I mean, yeah, perhaps that limits the viewer base, but it's more for the diehard fans anyway. And so right there, you're seeing, because we have these online services, you're seeing something happen that might not have otherwise happened. Like if there hadn't been Netflix, would we be getting more Arrested Development? I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm glad that it is there and that we are. You'll notice I'm kind of doing this down here. I'm crossing. I wrote a lot of stuff, so I'm just kind of crossing off ideas so I don't get confused. Sorry. Okay, so another thing that here's actually a point I want to make. You were talking, Robin, about how, like, in the past, it seemed like the movie-going experience, or just movies or TV, or maybe both, there's something more magical about it. It meant more to maybe you, or just it was given more appropriate weight or attention. The way I kind of see it is, I think there was always crap being made. You can go back. I mean, you have to try really hard to find it, but you can go back, the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, and on and on. And there's tons of B movies, C movies. There's tons of bad TV shows that just fell through the cracks of time. That I think we tend to idealize the past. That's just a human thing. Humans always idealize what they don't have. That's nostalgia. And I think what's happening there is that I don't think anything was really, I mean, maybe to a degree, yes, there were better things being made. And it also kind of was the early days of, moving pictures. We've only been doing this for around 100 years. And I think it's just that we just remember the good stuff, because that's what stands the test of time, and the bad stuff falls away. So I'm kind of hoping that, over time, that'll happen with us, maybe. That the good stuff from this time, if there is enough of it, will hold up, and that the crap will kind of fall away. And there is, and believe me, there is a lot of crap. Especially in TV. Gosh, I don't even watch TV at all anymore. I don't watch anything on TV, like straight TV, except for like Saturday Night Live or Colbert Report or Daily Show or something like that. But it's or like Adventure Time. But there's no show that I'm like planning to sit down and say, okay, this is on now, I'm gonna watch it. There's nothing. The only thing that might come close to that is Community, but even that's no guarantee, and I'll usually watch it online. But as far as shows that are on now, the only ones that I would take time for are comedies, pretty much. There's no drama right now that really has my interest. Don't get me wrong, there's a ton out there, and there's a ton of really good shows out there. I know that. It's just I'm just only finding myself drawn to comedy right now. At one time, my favorite show on TV was Lost, which I think was a great show, is a great show, and was one of those really, really original ideas that, I don't think anyone, had done something similar before, or will do for a very long time, if ever again. And not only was that a really cool original idea, what I loved about it so much is that it really, really made you think. And personally, that's the kind of stuff I really enjoy when it's, serious, when it's not comedy. I love stuff that makes you think about it. That makes you not only think about that story, makes you think about what you're watching, but makes you think about yourself. makes you think about and reflect on your own life. That's one of the reasons Cloud Atlas was so good, because it really forced you to look at yourself and look at your own life. And I think that kind of stuff is just, I think that's perfect. And I think that's what movies and TV are for. I think it's not just entertainment. It's also education. It's also um, inspiration. It really bothers me when you kind of have this you kind of have this mindless TV just getting chugged out there, so people can kind of sit it and look at it, and you know, I mean, I have a real bone to pick with reality TV. Like, what I hate about it is that you're paying these people and you're showcasing the lives of these people that are really not extraordinary in any way. It's like, oh yes, this is going on somewhere out there in the world, uh, so we're gonna show it to you, and they don't it like they don't require any kind of moral or any kind of nobility to it. It's just like it doesn't push anyone to try and be better. It's just like, this is life. This is what's going on, and we think it's valuable enough to put it on TV, and so we will. Like, for instance, you think of like Jersey Shore or the Kardashian Show or whatever. Those people aren't doing anything that's like exemplary. They're just living, and and by paying them and then by putting that on TV, that implies that even though they aren't doing something exemplary, that's still valuable. Like, it's saying something that if we objectively look at that and say, obviously they're not contributing, or they're not being like morally upstanding people, or like, I don't know, they're not something to aspire to, yet we put them on TV, yet we push them up and we pay them. Um, you know, what does that say anyway? So that really bothers me about reality TV. Not all reality TV is like that, but I can't watch it. I just can't stand it. Same with game shows now. It's just, I don't know. I don't like it. Um, so for me, what I would love to see is more, really, more unique ideas, more original ideas that make people think. I really would hope that people would want to use their minds while being entertained at the same time. I don't honestly see that happening, at least not on a large scale. I think there's going to be a real polarization of consumers as far as consuming TV and movies. I think you'll have a set of people, and I'm already seeing this now. You'll have a set of people that don't want to have to work hard. They just want to go get a cheap thrill and move along. And there's the people that are really going to take it seriously, that are really going to want to think about it. They're really going to appreciate all the work that went into it. And I think that's going to be a smaller group. So again, that's why I think the internet is so important and so great, because that allows us to find those people, find those groups, find those projects. You were talking about, the possible future of viewer, audience-funded productions. And I totally think that could happen. I could totally see that in the future. And I would love to see that, a completely viewer-based series, or viewer-funded series, or viewer-funded featured film. I think if we could do that, and it was something of good quality, then maybe you could change some people's minds or something. I don't know. But I think the bottom line is I'm not especially optimistic for what the mainstream studios are going to be doing in the future. At least not in the near future. I really don't see it getting very much better before it gets worse. I think a lot of it, again, kind of has to do with the money thing. I think if somehow we got out of this recession, then you might start seeing more original stuff, because they'll be willing to take more chances. But until that happens, I wouldn't bank on it. So yeah, I think I've said a lot here. I know I've said a lot because it's almost 15 minutes. And yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff going on. So bottom line, I know I've said it enough, is go online. Go online for your content. Go online and do research when you're going to see films. Their stuff is out there. There's not a ton of it, and it's not, maybe there's not a lot of marketing behind it, if any. Um, but the beauty of the internet now is that we just have so many options, and there's so much stuff. You just need to look. So that's what I think. That's what I think we need to do, and that's what I think really the future is of quality entertainment. All right, so I don't know. I guess Neil's going next, so we'll pass it over to Neil.